It's so awkward.
Oh, the filter.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Go and figure it out.
Right, hi everyone, welcome to the live. Today we'll be going through the June holiday programs today. So if it has ever caught any of your eyes, you guys have ever seen it on any advertisements and you guys would like to hear more about it, today is the time because we will be going through it today, all the details, and yeah, you guys can just let us know if you have any questions and we will be happy to answer it. All right. Also, the WhatsApp link is always gonna the WhatsApp number is always gonna be available there, so you can always just drop us a message, and yeah, drop us a message, or you can just click the service link below, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. All right. You can also comment, and I will try to answer as many questions as I can today. All right. Yeah. But for now, let's begin. Okay, so this June holiday program is especially for parents and students who feel like they are struggling. Parents, if you feel like your child is struggling. Okay, let me clarify that. Okay, we understand that PSLE is just a little bit away. That's incredibly stressful for everyone. Students, we still want them to be able to have a good work-life balance, or in this case, a study-life balance. We want them to be able to use their time as effectively as possible. So we have jump packed quite an amount of content within these workshops, and including strategies that they can use in their own time, as well as exam techniques that they can use, honestly, very fairly in any subject that they're doing. Okay, so it's extremely important, and yeah, just give it a listen if this feels like something that you might be interested in. All right, so as you guys can see above me right now, there is the brochure that we have. All right, you guys can see that we have the writing crash course. It's a 5-day crash course. It is the PSLE one, but we also have quite an amount of primary, lower primary, and middle primary classes as well. So if this sounds like something you'd be interested in, you guys could always let me know, and I would go into a bit more depth. Okay, but otherwise, I'm gonna go in order and explain it for everyone to hear. Okay, but yeah, definitely let me know if you have any questions at any moment of time. You can see that there is the WhatsApp number both on the top of this live and on the brochures, so you can always drop us a WhatsApp. We have a whole team ready to answer any of your questions, so really just drop us a text. Okay, we're really friendly. Okay, yeah. Okay, now I'm gonna go in order. Over here we have the primary 5 and 6 June PSLE crash course. Okay, so for this one this one in particular is great for students who really need that boost within the last few months before PSLE. Like I mentioned before, we all understand how stressful PSLE is. Okay, PSLE is that one exam that really determines what your next step is going to be, and we understand that, and we are completely there for you. Our teachers have seen students through so many sessions of PSLE. They know what is required during PSLE. They know how to help students. They understand the different needs that students might have. So we are really, really, you know, we are laser focused on you. Okay, so do not fear if this sounds like something that your child might need, or let's say your child is struggling a lot with PSLE, or even in primary 5 and you would like to give that extra support, set that good foundation before that last crucial final year. We're there for you. All right. Okay. Now this is a 5-day holiday program, and it's especially designed for primary 5 and 6 students preparing for the PSLE English exam. Okay, so our teachers, like I mentioned before, they are expert trained. Okay, they will guide your child through the essential skills and strategies to tackle the PSLE composition questions effectively. Okay, now what will they gain? What will your child gain? Okay, yeah, your child will be able to unpack PSLE questions with us, questions that they might usually find challenging doing themselves. We will unpack it with them. We want to teach your child how to effectively analyze the PSLE composition questions and ensure that they understand exactly what is required to craft compelling compositions and to secure content marks. Okay. A lot of students struggle with understanding the question, and that is the basis of the issues they are facing, because when students don't understand the questions that are given to them, they are not able to deliver any form of results that parents or teachers might want. Okay, so that is quite a crucial issue, and it is important for us to solve it. So yeah, definitely we will be going through that with the students. We also have the PSLU composition planning skills. Okay, we want to equip your child with effective planning techniques for story retention and to create well-structured compositions. Okay, now for this, it is really a lot about time management as well as how you would go about planning in order to make things easier for yourself when you're actually writing the composition. Okay, a lot more students than you think struggle with this. Okay, and it's incredibly common. For me as a student, I struggled with this as well. I would spend 15 minutes on planning, and for parents who don't know about this, 15 minutes is way too much when it comes to planning. But you're not supposed to spend that much time. You will be eating into your writing time, and that is usually not what teachers want. Okay, so definitely this is something that we want to work on with students. Okay, to actually plan under minimal time, and at the same time plan a plan that they are able to look at flawlessly when they are actually writing, so it won't deter them from actually finishing on time, and at the same time it will guide them to write a very cohesive, very coherent composition. Okay, so that's exactly what we want over here. Okay, now for this, okay, something very interesting is that we also actually have our very own writer's eye work technique, and it is something that helps students to fight creative blocks, and for students who struggle to keep planning on track, and for students who struggle to deliver a composition. Okay, this is a technique that we call story banking. It is meant to help students to deliver a composition that astounds and gets the desired results. Okay, so it is something that is quite comprehensive towards issues that students might be facing, and it's a technique that we have developed as a center to help such students. Okay, so if this sounds like something that you might be interested in hearing more about, or if your child struggles in any of these issues, just stay tuned, stay with me for a bit, and I will go through it shortly. Okay. In the meantime, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channels across all platforms. We are live on all different platforms. We have Instagram, with TikTok, with YouTube, with Xiaohongshu, and LinkedIn. Okay, so do follow us to get updates on these programs, as well as to hear the latest educational content. Besides program updates, we also do post educational content like study strategies, what to watch out for as parents of PSLE students, what to look at for lower primary school students, everything like that, tips and tricks on how to write a good composition, the best synonym lists that are most helpful to our students. Okay, we publish these things, and we do want to help as many parents as we can, want to help as many students as we can. Okay, so definitely do follow us, do take a look at some of our content, and let us know what you think. Okay, yeah, let's carry on. Okay. Now, for those who just arrived, I'm currently sharing what students will be gaining from our June PSLE composition writing crash course, and all of this information can be found on our website. Okay, so always there, always there. It will always be on our website, so you can just take a look at any moment of time. Right now, if you're not, maybe you're driving, maybe you are doing something important, and you can't exactly focus or look up the details, it's completely fine. It'll always be on our website. We will always be dishing out new details, so you can always go there when you're free. Okay, but yes, do WhatsApp us or comment should you have any questions. We have a whole team, like I mentioned, and we will be there to help you. Okay, as for this crash course, there are some other things that we'll be delivering to the students, and I will go through that right now. Okay, writing techniques and language mechanics, that is the foundation. Okay, the true foundation. Okay, we want to enhance your child's writing style and sentence structure using key grammar tips and creative writing techniques. Okay, so how to write captivating hooks. No more one day I woke up, no more today was a sunny day. Okay, we don't want that. Teachers have seen that again and again. They have seen that again and again. They see that in most compositions. That is not something that they want to see again. Okay. We want to teach them to write more than that. We want to teach them to be able to write something that is unique, something that astounds. Today, the blazing red ball of fire stood above me, almost warning me as if something was about to happen. So it's something that we take it up a notch. Okay, we take it up a notch. Okay, and also we will teach them PSLE exam strategies. We want to guide your child to mastering exam smart strategies such as time management and adaptation skills. Okay, why are these two things so important? Okay, these are not talked about enough. Time management is something that is so important no matter what subject you're taking. And it is not only in your academic life, it's in your social life, it is in your work life. Okay, um, this is something that will be with you for life. Okay, now, time management in exams, in PSLE in this case, can manifest in so many different ways, such as number one, in planning. Students need to know how to plan under minimal time so that they can optimize the amount of time and the quality of their writing. Okay, so that is super important for them. And when it comes to time management, it also includes being able to finish a paper under time constraints, be able to schedule their time well, that they are able to study more effectively. Okay, and this can include strategies such as like using active recall, spaced repetition. Okay, these are all things that are considered exam strategies, and we will be working on some exam smart strategies with them. So if this is something that you feel your child needs some exposure to, this is one way we can do it. Okay, also adaptation skills, super important. I will go through the story banking technique to give you guys a hint. We do use quite an amount of adaptation, so we will go through it later. But of course, with adaptation skills, it comes with answering adaptation skills are really important when it comes to composition questions, because when it comes to composition questions, you're not always going to get the question that you predict is going to come out. Okay, so we have to teach students how to adapt a question to their own benefit, such that they're always going to be able to answer a question and answer it well. Okay, so adaptation skills is super important, and this is something that is going to stay important even in their work life. Okay, you're not always going to get something that you know how to do. You need to learn how to adapt your skills. You're going to learn how to adapt the task itself. You need to learn how to do all these things. Okay, and adaptation skills is something that stays really important throughout. Okay, so definitely if this sounds like something you're interested in, this course might be for you. All right, finally, we also have the vocab bank. Okay, this is something that is super important, and as we go on in this live, you will notice that we talk about this vocab bank thing again and again through every single one of our crash courses. Okay, it is super important because of a sophisticated level of vocab and a nice vocab bank can allow your child to sound more, number one, engaging, number two, more informative of what they're saying. Okay, and this is not only in PSLE composition, this can be in PSLE oral, O-level composition, O-level oral, and on and on and on. Okay, even in work life, you are more likely to listen to someone who is being able to speak in a more engaging tone, someone who's able to speak with more relevant phrases. They sound more informative. Okay, these are all things that contribute to how engaging, how more likely people are to listen to someone. Okay, so these are definitely things that we want to work on. We will help your child to master 50 plus PSLE composition phrases to elevate their writing and add depth and variety to their compositions. Okay, these are things that we're going to give your child. Okay, we will also be giving them a Writers at Work exclusive PSLE model composition. We want to help your child to gain that edge against their peers, so we'll be giving them that 15 brand new exclusive model compositions. And do note, this is only going to be available in this crash course. Okay, so you're not going to be able to find it in any other crash course. This 15 brand new exclusive model compositions are only going to be available in this course. Okay, and compositions, model compositions to be precise, are so important because they allow students to have an understanding of what is required of them. They allow students to have something to model against. They allow students to actually see and very have an in-depth understanding of what is required of them when it comes to their writing. Okay, that is something that's super important because students might not be able to visualize, might not be able to fully understand when you tell them, okay, you need to show not tell. Okay, what does it mean to show not tell? Students have to have that example so that they can better understand what you need them to do. All right. Okay, definitely. We have a bonus offer for you as well. Students who sign up will receive a set of PSLE exam questions and top school PSLE composition questions. Okay, we will share the most commonly tested topics. Okay, as a bonus offer, and yeah, it will be more of a pattern situation. It is super important for students to be able to identify patterns in PSLE so that they're better able to predict what's going on and to prepare accordingly. Okay, it's super important, and our teachers have spent so long with PSLE. They mark scripts every day. They have gone through so many different sessions of PSLE. They know exactly what is required. They have identified these patterns. So students and parents don't have to struggle at home identifying these patterns themselves. When you come to this crash course, our teachers who are so knowledgeable about these patterns will be there to help you and help you to do the relevant practices. Okay, so definitely if your child is struggling, this is the crash course for you. Okay. Okay, but at this point I do want to highlight that this isn't just a holiday writing practice as some parents might think. Okay, some parents might think, okay, it's just a holiday writing practice, how much can my child get out of it? Okay, this is a full-blown exam focused strategy workshop. Like I mentioned before, we are jamming a lot of content in to make sure your child has the most effective 5 days. Okay, it is designed to turn average writers into confident exam ready storytellers. And if your child is struggling to prepare for PSLE English and doesn't know where to start, this might just do the trick. Okay, and I also understand that at this point some parents might have some doubts about the classes and how much value we're gonna bring. Okay, so I want to show you some of the class prep our teachers do in these combo classes so that you can take the chance to understand what your child will be taught in these 5 days. Okay, so you guys should be able to see it here on top of the screen. Our teachers really do make these elaborate lesson plans in hopes of filling our lessons with as much content as possible. Okay, our teachers love to see our students succeed, and that is something that is truly reflected through testimonials and results. Okay, there's really no better proof than student results when it comes to good teaching. Okay, so definitely stay tuned for student parent testimonials and a chance to meet some of the teachers here at Writers at Work. Okay, for those that just joined, welcome. I am Jia, and I'm currently going through some of the latest crash courses and holiday programs for June, as well as some parent and student testimonials. Okay, so do stay and let me know if you have any questions. We always have the WhatsApp number up, and we also have um, the service button over here, and we have the comment section. Okay, yeah, definitely do let us know if you have any questions. Moderator, could we the comment section? Yeah. Yeah. So let's move on. All right. Also, at this point, we understand that some parents might be wondering. All this said, how are their teachers? And I agree. A good program doesn't add much value if the teachers can deliver. Okay. At Writers at Work, our team is made up of seasoned educators who live and breathe English. Okay. They know the PSLE format inside out. They have marked composition scripts daily, and they have helped many PSLE students improve their grades to achieve solid AL1s in PSLE English. Okay. These are all things that we can help you with. Bruh, you're back. I'm back. Hi, I'm not smart. Welcome. How are you doing today? We are going through the June holiday programs again. Do you have any questions? We are going through it, and I'm happy to answer any of your questions. All right. All right. For those who are still in doubt about our teachers, I would like to invite some of the teachers here at Writers at Work onto the screen today to introduce themselves to everyone and give parents and students alike an idea, of what our teaching team is like here at Writers at Work. Okay, so could we have a teacher video?
Teacher Ilya, is it?
Mm. All right. All right. Okay. Okay, now for those who are waiting to hear more about the story banking techniques, thank you so much for waiting. Okay, I will now be going through this fantastic technique that has helped students solve issues with planning, lack of creativity, over and under usage of writing techniques, and much, much more. Okay, so we're definitely gonna help with that. All right, this is called story banking. Okay, and now the gist of story banking is trying, refining, and remembering. Okay, now what do I mean by this? Okay, students are allowed to write and refine or find a piece of writing that is approved by a teacher. Okay, it is something that will get them great marks. Okay, and they will be taught to replicate a piece of writing according to given question. Okay, now writers at work advocates for this technique because it allows students to enter the exam with a piece that will secure them high grades and something that will remove further stress from exam jitters or creative blocks in the exam hall. Now, before everyone says, oh, isn't that just regurgitating content? Isn't this just vomiting out content again? It is not. Okay, this is something that will help students that will teach students to adapt content. Okay, we are not asking them to vomit out content they've learned. Okay, that is not the way. Okay, because regurgitating content can only bring students so far. Okay, they will be limited at certain point of time when the question is not relevant at all. Okay, so but the ability to adapt content as we are teaching our students can allow them to jump their grades in ways they can't imagine because they will always be able to pull relevance from something they know to get the grades from questions that they don't that they are more unfamiliar with. Okay, so definitely we want to help them to do that. Okay, now questions would be how easy is this technique. Okay, my answer would be both easy and hard. So while this technique does make performing in an exam easier, it is important for students to learn how to adapt stories. Okay, that is the crucial part instead of just regurgitating content. Okay, this is why the combo classes are so important because they not only show new and effective techniques to students that they might not have exposure to before, but because we also teach them how to use these techniques most effectively. Okay, so that they are able to use these techniques during the exam without having to need further assistance. Okay, yeah. So of course, when it to come back to the June holiday program, we try to cater to as many needs as possible. If your child is also struggling with other areas of English so close to PSLE, super stressful, we understand, we completely understand. Or if your child is in lower or middle primary and are looking for some support, fear not, we got you, okay? Okay, now we have a bit more for primary 5 and 6, but definitely don't fear. We have some more content for primary 1, primary 2, primary 3, and primary 4 students, okay? So the lower and mid primary students, if that is your child, stay tuned, we will get there, all right? For students primary 5 to primary 6 who are struggling with English paper 2 or oral, we offer the English paper 2 plus oral crash course, okay? The oral thematic set A crash course and the oral thematic B crash course. Okay, now for the English paper 2 plus oral crash course, students will have the chance to number 1, build confidence in oral communication and structured responses. Okay, this is super important because confidence is key. Okay, a student will perform well when they are confident that they can achieve good grades, when they are confident that they can excel in what they're doing. Okay, super important. Okay, and how do we build that confidence? Through a lot of practice, through a lot of we grant students that understanding towards the things that they're going to be tested in. We're going to help them, okay, so that they are clear on what is required of them, such that they are able to excel, to go into the exam hall knowing I know exactly what's going to happen and I know that I can do well. Okay, this is what we want our students to feel. Okay, we will also help them to master crucial grammar rules and techniques. Super important because that is the basis. Okay, that is the foundation. If you are good with content but you can't write, if you can't master your grammar rules, everything's gonna fall through. Okay, so this is definitely something that we want students to work on. Okay, improve comprehension answering skills for closed and open-ended questions. So specific questions like this, we will be helping them and going in depth as well to explain to them what is required of them as well. Okay, Learn synthesis and transformation rules to avoid common mistakes. When we're doing the TikTok live, some students love synthesis and transformations, okay? Some students hate synthesis and transformations. But okay, that is depending on how good you are with it. But no matter how good you are with it, you're still going to be tested on it. So it is best for students to be well versed in this section, and we definitely want to help them with that, okay? So that is something that we will deliver, okay? But for the TikTok live I mentioned, everyone, you guys can always join in and see what going through some papers, and then you can just join us, sit there and chill, okay? Yeah, okay. The thematic sets, all right? For the oral thematic set A crash course, students will have the chance to master key oral exam themes. Okay, that is super important. Like I mentioned before, it's about identifying patterns, identifying themes that commonly appear in the exam, and actually to practice them and make sure you're well prepared for them. Okay, now the issue with this is that some students, they don't know how to identify these teams. They don't know what teams are more likely to come out. They don't know the patterns, all right? But the thing about us is that we have been established since 2012. We have seen so many different seasons of PSLE. We know the teams that are likely to come out. We know what students need in order to have that practice to help them to do well, okay? So definitely we will be able to identify these patterns. We will be able to make this process easier for your child, for students, and we will be able to deliver them practice papers, practice sets, and discussions that will help them to achieve this with our knowledge of these teams and patterns, okay? Each day, each students will be able to explore these teams with us and learn how to present and discuss them confidently, okay? It's not only about understanding what teams are there, it's about learning how to discuss them confidently, okay? So super important, okay? Effective oral answering techniques. We want to teach your child a proven method to structure their oral responses and ensure clear, coherent, and well organized answers, okay? Now, like I mentioned before, we do have a lot of techniques, okay? But that is only because we have been English tuition for so long. We understand that there are certain things that help students perform better than others. And these things become our writers at work techniques. It becomes techniques that we want to pass to students, to teach to them, okay? So we do have quite an amount of techniques for those who are wondering, okay? And these techniques have achieved good results. Our students have gotten great results in PSLE and other levels. So I will also be showing some student results later on if that is the confirmation you need to sign up for our classes. If that is the a bit of if you need a bit of statistics as well, we have that all for you. All right. Yeah. Oral exam strategies, we have that as well. Okay. You want to provide your child with strategies that will help them to navigate the exam, manage their time effectively, and maximize their score with well-structured responses. Okay, again, time management, super important. It's not talked about enough. Okay, when it comes to time management, it is something that is especially crucial for PSLE students, because when you're studying for PSLE, good time management can allow you to have a good work-life balance that helps you to not burn out. Okay, we do not want our students, we do not want your child to burn out right before the exam. Okay, it's completely not what we want. Okay, we want your child to be able to have that balance. We want your child to be able to schedule their studying so that they can most effectively absorb information, absorb and understand what's going on. Okay, but other than that, this kind of time management skills is especially important when it comes to planning, when it comes to time management within the exam itself, okay? It is not just about finishing under time constraints, it's about pacing yourself so that you're able to finish each section, you're able to dedicate the right amount of time to each section. These are all things that we understand and we will be going through with your child, okay? We want to help them to manage their time and maximize their score in that way, okay? We will also help your child to stay on top of current and trending relevant topics in the PSLE oral exam, okay? This is something that provides them with content that they might need, okay? Super important. And we do so with our carefully selected reading articles. We will provide them with over 10 relevant reading articles for them to work with, okay? So we'll be giving them those resources as well. expand their vocab. Okay, we also want to add over 50 essential PSLE oral exam phrases to your child's vocab bank and empower them to articulate their thoughts more effectively. Okay, again, vocab super important. I mention it all the time, okay, because of how important it is. Again, vocab, for those who didn't listen or wasn't here just now, vocab is something that can really take your speech, your communication up a notch, because it lets people believe that you are someone who is knowledgeable in what you're saying. You're someone who's engaging, someone that can provide them information. Okay, and this is something that stays so important from PSLE all the way to when you're working in the workforce. Okay, so definitely vocab super important. Okay, before we go on to the oral thematic set B, okay, I'm gonna show you guys some of our full mark papers. Okay, okay, now you guys can see over here, like I mentioned previously, there's really no better proof of effective teaching and education than through student results, success stories, and testimonials. Okay, so this is some results that our students have obtained after our classes. Okay, so if you prefer some statistics, I have got you covered as well. Just stay with me for this. Okay, as you guys can see over here, we have Calnan Primary School and Alexandra Primary School. Okay, our students have scored full marks in these two papers. Super impressive. I am super proud of our students. And you can see over here that it is quite a big feat. We are so proud that our students who have taken our classes are able to achieve these results. Okay, it's definitely not something to look over. Okay, in terms of statistics, Bright Outside Work is actually one of the top English tuition centers in Singapore. Now, I'm not just saying that, okay? I'm not just saying that. 90% of our PSLE cohort have since achieved AL1 to 4, and 90% of our secondary school cohort 3 grades of improvement. Okay, so that is a lot. That is something that we are really proud of. Okay, so as an established tuition center since 2012, parents and students can really rest assured that we do have all the resources needed for the success you desire. All right, so English is a communicative skill, and that is something that not only impacts exam results but also the way we present ourselves at every stage of life. Okay, that is something that we understand, and we want to it's our passion. We want to help your child as well. Okay, yeah. Okay, we went through the oral set A, oral thematic set A crash course. Okay, like I mentioned before, we also have the oral thematic set B crash course. Okay, I'll go through it in a bit. It is slightly different. Okay, but for those who just joined, I'm Jia. Welcome, and I'm currently going through the oral thematic crash courses we have available in the June holidays. Okay, so please let me know if you have any questions. You can also drop us a message through WhatsApp, and the team will do their best to assist you. Okay, but if you're not able to make it for June, we definitely have other crash courses. We have other resources, so stay tuned. But definitely, consistency is the key. Go for it, okay? Go for this June holiday class. All right. For the oral thematic set B crash course, we're here. Students will have the chance to, number one, master key oral exam themes. Okay, this is similar to the oral set A crash course, but only because of how important it is. Like I mentioned before, students are able to prepare for the exam well or ace their exam, especially when they know what's going to come out. They have that certainty. They know what they're doing. Okay, and how we can give them that is through predicting or looking at doing a bit of forecasting, a bit of trend forecasting. Okay, trend analysis. Okay, whatever you might call it, to see what teams are more likely to come out than others, what kind of questions are more likely to come out. Okay, so these are all things that we can help your child with and help them to prepare accordingly so that they are well versed with whatever questions might come out, might meet them in the exam. Okay, we don't, the last thing we want is for a child to prepare everything and they think it's such a comprehensive preparation, but when they go into the exam they're like, I did not prepare this. That is the last thing we want. Okay, and that is something that we are trying to prepare your child for. We're trying to prepare them so that they won't face the situation. All right, With this component, we will dive deep into the most popular PSLE oral exam themes. Okay, so each day students will explore these themes and learn how to present and discuss them confidently. Okay, again, confidence is something that is super important. Okay, a student should be confident in their writing, they should be confident in what they're doing, what they're gonna say, whether it's in an oral exam or whether it's in a compo exam or even in, you know what, any other exam. So this is something that we really want to give them. We want to give them that confidence. All right. We will also be giving them the effective oral answering techniques. Okay, we want to teach your child a proven method to structure their oral responses and to ensure clear, coherent, and well organized answers. Okay, again, super important. The way you structure your content can heavily impact the way it's understood as well as the impact that is served to other people. Okay, so these are all things that we understand as an English Fusion Center and things that we want to help them to polish. Okay, so definitely if this is something your child struggles with, or you just feel like your child would benefit from more answering techniques, or maybe your teacher has to say you have to be more coherent, you have to structure things better. Okay, this is a course for you. Okay, we really do go through that in depth with the children, with the students. Okay, amongst a lot of other things. Okay, so definitely choose the crash course that is most suited for your needs, and leave the rest to us. Okay, we will help your child with that. Okay, right. Oral strategies. Okay, oral exam strategies. We want to provide your child with strategies that help them navigate the exam, manage your time effectively, and yes, score with well-structured responses. Again, a lot about structured. Okay, very very important, like I mentioned. Then we have time management. Okay, time management is something that stays important throughout your life, like I mentioned before. And that's why it is something that is present in both set A and set B. Okay, it's something that we definitely, no matter what, want to work with your child on. Okay, your child, because after these 5 days, unless you come to our regular courses, we're not going to be able to help your child to structure their exam prep. Okay, but when your child is structuring their own exam prep, it is so important for them to be able to balance work and life before they, burn out. We don't want them to burn out before the exam. Okay, we want them to be able to structure it. We want them to be able to pace themselves. We want them to be able to schedule so that they're able to use strategies like active recall, like spaced repetition, so that they are able to put their psychology, to make their psychology work in their benefit. Okay, this is something that we definitely want to help them with. Okay, we will also be helping your child to stay current with trending and relevant topics. Okay, this is the same as set A. Okay, it's over 10 reading articles, but I promise there is a difference between set A and set B. I will go through in a bit. Just be patient with me, all right? Yes, 10 relevant reading articles. That is something you won't miss out on, okay? And we will also expand your vocab just like in set A, okay? Again, 50 essential PSLE oral exam phrases to their vocab bank, okay? So if your child is struggling to create that vocab bank, or they're just not making the progress you want them to with their vocabulary, this is something that we will be able to help them with. We will give them that 50 words in their vocab bank so that we can help them with a bit of vocab foundation. Okay, this is something that's so important because we will be able to empower them to articulate themselves better, to communicate their thoughts more effectively. Okay, finally, here is the difference. Exclusive PSLE oral exam model responses. Okay, this is something that set A does not have. Okay, we want to give your child a clear idea of what high quality oral responses look like, especially
They
with.
both have model responses.
Oh, they do?
So both sets are exactly the same. They're just different themes.
Oh, different teams. Oh, because I didn't see that one in the list. Okay, my bad. Okay, they have the teams. Okay, different teams will have the exclusive PSLE model responses. Both of them have different teams, right? Okay, so if it depends on what your child wants to work with, we want your child to have a clear idea of what a quality or response looks like, especially with design model answers. Okay, so these things are all something that we're gonna give to your child and help them with. All right. Okay, I want to play a parent testimonial for your reference. Okay, I have mentioned before that we have received a lot of positive feedback about our classes, so it is super important for us to be able to show that to you as well. Okay, so let's have the parent testimonial. All right. So let's get back to what Writers at Work will be offering this June holidays. Okay, so we have spoken about what we offer primary 5 and primary 6 students, but don't worry, we have crash courses for lower and mid primary students who are struggling to score in their exams. Okay, um, for students in primary 3 and 4, we currently offer the oral thematic crash course where students can learn to confidently discuss popular oral exam themes. Okay, super important. Again, themes are something where we analyze what might come out and we help them to prepare. Okay, students will learn oral answering techniques. We want students to master an effective approach to structuring thoughtful and impactful responses. So this is definitely something that we want to focus on. Okay, oral presentation strategies. We want to help your child to organize their thoughts and improve delivery with effective presentation strategies. Okay, again, presentation is so important no matter what you're presenting. An oral exam, the oral exams, we want them to be able to organize their thoughts and actually deliver their whatever they are trying to say in a more coherent manner. Okay, we don't want them to be all over the place. We want there to be some strategy. We want there to be some flow in what they're delivering. Okay, so if this is something your child is struggling with that thought organization, that delivery organization, this is something that we're going to be able to help them with. All right, then we have the relevant oral topics. We have over 10 reading articles based on trending or commonly tested oral topics. Okay, these are things that we are going to be able to provide for your child. We want to actually help them with the resource aspect as well, so we will be giving them these 10 articles. Okay, but of course, in terms of resources, we will also help them with vocab. We will expand your oral vocabulary with 50 thematic phrases. Okay, these phrases, as you can see, are consistent throughout all the crash courses. We will help them with their vocab no matter what crash course they're in, because of how important vocab is. Vocab is something, like I mentioned before, that will help them. It can really make or break what they're saying. The wrong usage of vocab can make them seem very ignorant, but at the same time, the correct use of vocab can help them really seem sophisticated and knowledgeable about what they're saying. Okay, so this is definitely something we want to help students to work on. Okay, exclusive model responses. Okay, we want students to be able to have an idea of what a good response would be like in oral. So definitely we'll have those examples. Students will receive a specially designed oral exam model responses to guide their preparation. Okay, so really we will be providing the guidance as well in and out of this crash course. Okay, now for primary 1 and 2 students, we have something for you as well. Okay, parents of primary 1 and 2 students, this is your time. Okay, we offer both the compo writing and beginner oral crash course. Okay, so for primary 1 and 2 students, students are at the beginning of their primary school journey. Okay, this is not spoken about enough. Okay, these students require a good foundation. They are at the beginning of their journey. They really require that assistance so that they have a good foundation in their academics and they are able to cultivate a positive outlook towards their studies. Okay, so this is definitely something that we're passionate about, making an impact. And so definitely this sounds like something that your child needs or something that they might be interested in. This is the course for you. Okay, now to dive a bit deeper into what is offered, okay, for the compo writing crash course, students will learn how to unpack composition questions. Your child will learn to analyze composition questions. Okay, I've spoken about this before. It is super important for students to have such a strong foundation in analysis. Okay, whether it's for composition questions or for any other subject, or just general problem solving skills. Okay, analysis is something that will enrich them, that will bring them a long way. Now in terms of composition questions, it's so important for students at such a young age to be able to understand from a question what is required of them. Okay, they should be able to look at a question, break it down, and be like, okay, this is what the question is asking and this is the answer I will deliver. Okay, so this is a skill that stays important throughout primary school, throughout O levels, and into the workforce. Okay, so definitely it's something that we want to help them with. We want to teach them how to analyze what is required of them and to write compelling and meaningful answers in response. Okay, Now, we also help them with lower primary composition planning skills, okay? We will guide your child in developing composition planning techniques and teach them how to structure their writing for clarity and flow. Okay, students might have a lot of ideas when you're in primary school, in primary 1 and 2 especially. A lot of ideas, and that is awesome, okay? That is great. We love creative students. We love students who have ideas of their own. We love that, okay? But the issue with this is that some students are not aware of how to structure their ideas to make the maximum use of the impact their words have or their writing has, okay? And this is something that we want to help them with, okay? We will be helping them to develop composition planning and teach them how to structure their writing for clarity and flow, okay? Structure is so important for clarity and flow, and this is definitely something that we want to guide them to have, okay? It's so important to have a strong foundation in this in primary 1 and 2, because writing does not stop at primary 1 and 2. In fact, it continues and gets harder and harder through their academic journey, okay? Primary 3 and 4, the writing will definitely be harder than primary 1 and 2. 5 and 6, definitely harder than 3 and 4. It keeps getting harder and more complex. They need that good foundation, and that is something that we want to help them with, okay? Okay, and we also have writing techniques and language mechanics. This is the basis, okay? Through grammar focused lessons, we will help your child to strengthen their writing style, sentence structure, and overall language mechanics, okay? Students can have great ideas, students can have great structure, have great everything, but if they're not able to express themselves in a language that is um, grammatically accurate, in a language that is understandable by other people, everything falls through, okay? So this is something that we definitely want to focus on for students. We definitely want them to have that strong foundation in language mechanics, in their overall grammar rule, when it comes to grammar rules or how they phrase a sentence, okay? These are all things that we want to help them with, and they are super important, okay? Expand vocab bank. Okay, so we've over 30 composition phrases. We will help your child enhance your writing with rich vocab and help them to express ideas more clearly and creatively. Like I mentioned before, we have this vocab section in every single crash course. Even not in our crash course, we have it in our regular classes. We have it. We talk about vocab in our TikTok lives, and right now I'm talking about it in when I'm explaining this composition writing class, because of how important it is. Vocab can bring a child a long way. It can bring any person a long way. It helps students, it helps people in the workforce to be better understood. It helps them to be more engaging. It helps them to sound more informative. Okay, these are all things that are all super important. Okay, master 3 writers at work model compositions. Okay, now this is super important. At primary 1 and 2, students learn really well from repetition. Okay, students learn very well from replication as well. Okay, so when it comes to primary 1 and 2 students, they might not be able to completely understand you when you tell them, okay, you need to show not tell, you need to do blah blah blah, you need to do da 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 when it comes to your writing. They don't understand until you show them what a good model composition is. They don't understand what you want them to do until you show it to them, okay? And that's completely understandable, okay? Especially at primary 1 and 2, we want to help them and pass them those resources so that maybe parents, teachers might be able to guide them to make that improvement, okay? So we will help your child master 3 model compositions, okay? Your child will learn to craft engaging compositions by studying 3 unique writers at work model compositions, and this is exclusive to this holiday program, okay? So we're really excited for this, and we hope that it benefits your child, okay? Okay, now we have the oral crash course. Now this is super exciting, okay? Super exciting, because this oral crash course is adventure based, okay? I'm gonna repeat this. This oral crash course is adventure based, okay? It's specially tailored for primary 1 and 2 students. It really gives them that it really hypes up their interest, and at the same time it delivers the academic content that you want it to, okay? So super exciting. I am super excited for it, okay? Now, we want your child to gain confidence in speaking with our 3-day interactive oral program, okay? Super exciting. So this is designed for primary 1 and 2 students, and it helps to strengthen their oral communication, reading fluency, and vocab through storytelling and creative activities. Okay, now what are these creative activities? Okay, Now, it is an exciting adventure. It's called Who Stole the Dragon's Egg? Okay, so it's a bit of a story, and students will be able to walk through that story while learning these oral communicative skills. Okay, so now your child will become a young detective solving the mystery of stolen dragon's egg while learning key oral communicative skills. Okay, super important. We really put in and insert those kind of academic skills that we want students to have in this adventure, right? So, day one is the friendly fairy. Students will focus on pronunciation, articulation, and enunciation so that they are able to speak clearly and accurately. Okay, this is so important, okay, for students to be able to enunciate themselves to make sure they're definitely understood by adults and their peers. Okay, this is something that requires a good foundation, especially when they're primary one and primary two. This is a skill that is required in the workforce, that is required in their O level, oral, and your social life, essentially any part of life. Okay, so this is something that we definitely want to help build a foundation in. Okay, day two will be called the wise wizard. Okay, super exciting. We want to help them to improve rhythm and fluency and help them to speak with a smooth natural flow. Okay, we really don't want students to have to speak in a way that is maybe stuttering. We want to help them to get over that. We want to be able to help them to speak with a natural flow so that they're better understood. Okay, fluency essentially, right? Day three is called the Grumpy Goblin, where students will be led to enhance expressiveness, intonation, and emotion, such that they will be able to bring speech to life with feeling and tone. Like I mentioned before, this is important because expression does convey a lot of message in its own. Like, would you rather listen to someone who is speaking like this or someone who is speaking with a lot of expression and emotion? Okay, it helps with engagement, and engagement is something that is super important as they go on in life and even in oral exams as they progress in their academic journey. Okay, now what will your child gain? Let's break this down. Okay, your child will be able to gain a mastery in oral communication. We want to help them speak clearly with confidence and tone, improve reading fluency, strengthen pronunciation, and expressive reading. And we want to help them to expand their vocab, learn new words to describe characters and emotions. And what better way to learn that than from an adventure story? It's so action packed, okay? They will be able to learn these emotions and these facial expressions from these characters. So I think that is super important and a super great way for students to get that foundation, okay? Enhance creativity, we will help and teach students to use voice, facial expressions, and gestures to tell engaging stories. Again, what better way than to learn this from an adventure-based story? Okay. Finally, solve the mystery. Okay, this might be the ultimate goal for the students, but for students, they will be able to follow the clues each day to uncover who stole the dragon's egg. Okay, that is super fun for them. And in the meantime, they can learn all the academic content that they might not have interest in learning at such a young age. Okay, so definitely this is something that we want to help them with. Okay, sometimes parents might question, okay, my kid is in primary one and two, why should I send them to crash course? I can send them when they're primary five and primary six. Why now? Like I mentioned before, primary one and primary two is the start of the academic journey. Students need that strong foundation, and it is so important for them to be able to get that at such a young age. Okay, and the thing about holiday crash courses is that it fills in the gaps between the academic terms. Okay, now when it comes to studying, consistency is so important. That gap between terms might be exactly what your child needs to actually stand up above their peers, to be able to do exceptionally well in their studies. Okay, it really fills in that gap. Okay, so definitely, if this sounds like something that your child would like, or maybe if you're struggling to find an activity for your child to do during these holidays, this might be the course for you. All right. Of course, if you cannot make it this June holidays, we also have upcoming crash courses arranged for future school holidays. Okay, so just drop us a follow on any of our platforms and wait for updates on holiday programs. Okay, so now currently we're available on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Xiaohongshu. So basically all the platforms. Okay, so remember to subscribe and like our posts. Okay, now remember again, consistency is key in learning and that students will observe more effective learning from consistent classes. Okay, so now our classes and materials will also be different during different holiday seasons. So definitely do not be afraid that your child will be put through the same class twice. Okay, so it's not the case that let's say your child came to our Center for Holiday program in March and now you're thinking about coming over for June, but you're worried that they will be taught the same thing. They will not be taught the same thing. All right, so definitely if you're interested, you guys can always scan the QR code over here to explore some of our programs. And yeah, let us know in the comment section or to the WhatsApp number if you have any questions, and we will get back to you. Okay, again, teachers, they are super important in the journey of education. A good program really doesn't deliver or it doesn't add much value if the teachers can deliver. Okay, now at Writers at Work, our team is made up of seasoned educators who live and breathe English. Okay, they know the PSLE format inside out. They've helped mark composition and scripts daily, and they have helped many PSLE students to improve their grades to achieve solid AL1s in English. Okay, now for those who are still in doubt, I would love to invite some of the teachers here at Writers at Work onto the screen today to introduce themselves to everyone and give parents and students alike an idea of what our teaching team is like here at Writers at Work. Could we have teacher Jacqueline and teacher Isabel? Mm-hmm. Okay. I hope everyone's feeling well, especially parents and PSLE students, all right? It must be stressful in this last few months before PSLE. We are really not that far away from it. It is just around the corner. We completely understand if you guys are stressed out, and we're there to help, right? For parents, a few questions for you. Are you secretly panicking every time your child hands in a composition? Okay, these are questions that we dare to ask. Okay, does your child struggle to come up with strong story ideas under time pressure? Do they keep getting comments like weak climax, story doesn't flow, or words off topic? Okay, now the last one is really, really scary. And I remember how scared I was as a student back then to receive that one comment. My teacher would write with like a red pen and us and tell me off topic, and she would circle the entire section, and I would be so scared because for me that felt like it was on topic. I didn't understand why it felt like off topic to her, and my compositions would be super long winded, where everyone's compositions would be they will be able to finish it under time constraints. I wasn't able to do so. So these are all things that I struggled with, and for a lot of teachers over here, we understand how students are feeling, and it's completely valid, all right? Now, for parents, if you said yes to any of that, then please stay on this live, okay? Because I'm about to give you a solution that is recognized by both teachers and parents, all right? Okay. Now, to help everyone better understand what I'm saying, I'm gonna pull some brochures up on the screen, okay? So you guys can take a look at the brochures here. Okay, now let's begin. This is the June holiday PSLE writing crash course for primary 5 and primary 6 students. Okay, now this one in particular is great for students who really need that boost within the last few months before PSLE. So they really need that push. They really need someone to help them to consolidate everything, to wrap everything up nicely, and for them to just absorb it. All right, this is a highly recommended 5-day holiday program, and it's especially designed for PSLE and primary 5 students that are preparing for their English exam. Okay, now our teachers are expert trained and will guide your child through the essential skills and strategies to tackle PSLE composition questions effectively. Okay, now to break down what your child will gain, your child will be able to unpack challenging PSLE composition questions. We will teach your child how to analyze PSLE composition questions effectively and ensure that they understand exactly what is required to craft compelling compositions and secure content marks. Okay, these are all things that we want to provide for your child. We want to make sure that they know how to do these things. Okay, unpacking questions are so important. Like I mentioned just now with my own personal story, sometimes students don't understand what it means to be off topic. They don't understand why they are off topic. They don't understand how to write on topic. Okay, and it's a completely valid issue to have. I remember that I struggled with it so much until I was taught to unpack the question, until I was taught how I should properly plan for the question. It is so important for students to be able to have something to model after, and for students to actually be able to identify what went wrong. Okay, and these are all things that we want to help your child with. Okay, when it comes to unpacking PSLE composition questions, we want your child to be able to analyze the question. We want them to be able to break it down, look at the question, and say, okay, this is the question, what is required of me. Okay, I understand now this is required of me, and then I will deliver accordingly. Okay, this is exactly what we want, and that is the end goal for this aspect of the course. Okay, other than that, we will provide students with PSLE composition planning skills. Planning skills are so important, and that is for a whole lot of reasons. Okay, with planning skills, as students are planning a story, they can, number one, realize if they are on track or off track. That is one very good way for them to realize that. And effective planning skill can help them to lessen the amount of time they're using in the composition. Can you imagine a student who has spent 5 minutes planning out their story and they are writing against it, compared to a student who is doing no planning and they're just, just writing the story as ideas flow in. They are just in they are in at the mercy of their ideas. It is something that can result them not being able to finish in time constraints. Okay, so this is something that we definitely want to help them with. We want to equip your child with effective planning techniques for story retention and to create well-structured compositions. Okay, again, structure is something that planning can definitely help with if that is something your child is struggling with. Okay, but for this issue, we actually have our very own writers at work technique. Okay, and it's a technique called story banking that helps students to fight creative blocks and for students who struggle with planning, and it is to help them to keep on track and to deliver a composition that astounds and gets the desired results. Okay, now if you're interested in hearing more about this technique, or if your child struggles to be creative in their compositions, definitely stay tuned. It is going to be a valuable one. All right, in the meantime, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channels across all platforms. We are currently available on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Xiaohongshu, and LinkedIn. Okay, so all the platforms. Okay, and just follow us to get updates on these programs. And you can take the chance to hear the latest educational content we have prepared for you. Okay, we post educational content every now and then, so definitely just take a look at them. We have content on how students can study more effectively, exam techniques. We explain the different learning styles as well for parents who are trying to figure out the learning styles of their students. We also have a lot of content on how students can write better compositions, synonym lists. Okay, so these are all things that we want to help them with, right? Yeah. Okay, let's carry on. Okay. Writing mechanics, no, writing techniques and language mechanics. Okay, so we want to enhance your child's writing style and sentence structure as well using key grammar tips and creative writing techniques. Okay, we want them to write openings and endings better than one day I woke up. Today the sun was shining. The sky was blue. Okay, these are things that teachers have heard over and over again. Hello, is host Yahweh having more sessions today? Okay, I'll let the moderator get back to you with the schedule. Okay, but definitely do let us know if you have any questions when it comes to this. All right. Yeah, but yes, for this, PSLE exam strategies, we want to help students to guide. We want to guide your child to master exam smart strategies as well, such as time management and adaptation skills to tackle any composition questions. Okay, so these are things that we want to help with as well. Okay, we also want to help students to expand your vocab bank. Okay, to master 50 composition phrases to elevate writing and add depth and variety to their compositions. Okay, these are all things that can really elevate their writing, add more sophistication to it at the level of depth to their composition. Okay, so definitely if this is something that you feel like your child or you struggle in, this might be the course for you. All right. Also, students can gain an edge with 15 brand new exclusive model compositions, and this is available only in this crash course. Okay, we want to give them that 15 brand new compositions so that they can actually have a reference to maybe what went wrong and how they can write a compositions that it's effective. Okay, there is actually so much value in being able to annotate a composition and see what's actually required of you. Okay, actually for this, if students actually need additional resources, we also have some ebook sales that we will be going through in a bit. Okay, now these ebooks will be on our podia, so in the meantime, if you guys are interested in this, you guys can also take a look, or if you would like more detail, always stay tuned and take a look at our next live. Okay, we will be going through that in our next live, so do take a look. All right, now for those who are thinking this is just a holiday writing practice, how much can I get? All right, it's a full-blown exam focused strategy workshop. It is not just a holiday writing practice, and it is designed to turn average writers into confident exam ready storytellers. Okay, so now if your child is struggling to prepare for PSLE English and doesn't know where to start, this might just do the trick. All right, I understand that at this point some parents might have some doubts about the classes and how much value we could bring to your child's academic progress in just 5 days. Okay, understandable. I am going to show you some of the class prep our teachers do for this combo classes so that you can take the chance to understand what your child might be taught in these 5 days. Okay, all right. See, from you guys can see here at the top of my screen, we have a little banner here. You guys can take a look. Okay, so our teachers make elaborate lesson plans in the hopes of filling our lessons with as much content as possible. Our teachers really do love to see our students succeed, and this is something that is really reflected through testimonials and results. Okay, there's really no better proof than student results when it comes to good teaching. Okay, so definitely, if this is something that you would like to look at, stay tuned for some parent testimonials and a chance to meet some of our teachers here at Writers at Work. Okay, if this is something that you've always wondered, if you have wanted to join our classes but you don't know what our teachers are like, this is the chance. This is your chance to meet our teachers and get a feel of what our teachers are like and perhaps find a teacher that is most suitable for your child. Okay, we do have a huge variety of teachers, and yeah, we will definitely have a teacher that your child finds suitable. All right, but for those who just joined, welcome. I'm Jia, and I'm currently going through some of the latest crash courses and holiday programs for June. Do stay tuned and let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so here is some of our teachers. We understand that some parents might be wondering, all that said, how are their teachers? And trust me, I completely agree. If a teacher can't deliver, the program doesn't add much value. Okay, we understand that, but I can assure you that at Writers at Work, our team is made up of seasoned educators who live and breathe English. Okay, these teachers have marked PSLE scripts daily. They know the PSLE format inside out. They can definitely assist you. Okay, for those who are still in doubt, I would like to invite some of the teachers here at Writers at Work onto the screen today to introduce themselves to everyone and give parents and students alike an idea of what they are like.
Wait, me, teacher?
Mm.
Hi Vicky. So, how does training make you a better teacher? I think training makes me a better teacher as it expands my knowledge base in different areas. And the more professional training I undergo, the more industry insight and knowledge I'm able to gain, which I can apply in my teaching, thus making me a better teacher. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, one more.
Mm.
Hi, I'm teacher Ifa. I'll be a senior teacher next year in 2024 in Rice Asset World.
How has WOW shaped you as a teacher?
What actually means to become more patient because I had to teach a range of students from lower to upper primary. And yes, shaped me to become more spontaneous and flexible because again I have to teach a range of students, so I need to be more animated for some have to be more serious with the stuff.
What has your biggest achievement or project this year at WOW?
One of my biggest achievement would be being able to handle the workload right now because my headcount is higher this year as compared to last year. So being able to handle the workload when my headcount drastically increased is an achievement for me.
What do you hope to accomplish as a senior teacher in 2024?
I wish to accomplish helping the new teachers to adapt to this new workplace because it may be overwhelming for them, especially when the working culture or the curriculum is different from their previous one. So I wish to help them to be more confident working with us and less overwhelmed.
All right, now for those who are waiting to hear more about the story banking technique, thank you. And I will now be going through this fantastic technique that has helped students solve issues with planning, lack of creativity, over and under usage of writing techniques, and much, much more. Okay, so definitely value. Okay, now the gist of story banking is trying, refining, and remembering. Okay, now what do I mean by this? Students are led to write and refine or find a piece of writing that is approved by a teacher, a piece of writing that will get them great marks, and learn to replicate that piece of writing according to the given question. Okay, now writers at work advocate for this technique because it allows students to enter the exam with a piece that will secure them high grades, removing any further stress from exam jitters or creative blocks in the exam hall. But the question that most people might be thinking is, how easy is this technique? My answer would be both easy and hard. Okay, now while this technique does make performing in an exam easier, it is important for students to learn how to adapt their stories instead of regurgitating content. Okay, notes, story banking is not regurgitating content. It's about adapting content. Okay, this is why our combo crash courses are so important because they not only show new and effective techniques to students, but they also teach them how to use these techniques effectively. Okay, regurgitating content can only bring students so far, but the ability to adapt content, as we do teach our students, can allow them to jump their grades in ways they can't imagine. Okay, of course, when it comes to the June holiday program, we try to cater to as many needs as possible. Okay, so if your child is also struggling with other areas of English so close to PSLE, we understand how stressful that is. Okay, or if your child is in lower or middle primary and are looking for some support, fear not, we've got you. All right, as you guys can see on the banner here, um, for students primary 5 to 6 who are struggling with English paper 2 or oral, we also offer the English paper 2 plus oral crash course, the oral thematic set A crash course, and the oral thematic set B crash course. Okay, so these are especially for students who are struggling with both. Okay, for students struggling with the English paper 2 plus oral crash course, students will have a chance to, number one, build confidence in oral communication and structured responses. Okay, confidence is such an important thing when it comes to exams. Okay, students are going to be able to perform better when they're more confident, when they're more aware of what they're doing. Okay, and this is something, a confidence that we definitely want to give our students. Okay, we want to help them become so fluent with structured responses, with oral communication, that they can go into the exam and feel like, I know exactly what I'm doing, I will be fine. And this is exactly the kind of attitude and confidence we want our students to have, okay? We will help our students to master crucial grammar rules and techniques as well. Again, that is the foundation of the exam. So it is so important for them to be able to do that, okay? Whether they have good structured responses, good content. If they're not able to express themselves with correct grammar rules and techniques, everything else is gonna fall through. Okay, so definitely that is something that we want to help them to work on. We also want to help them to improve comprehension answering skills for closed and open-ended questions. Okay, so specifically, if your child or you as a student are facing that issue, this is something that we'll be able to help you with. Okay, we will also be teaching synthesis and transformation rules so that students will be able to avoid common mistakes. Okay, so if you as a student or your child are facing this kind of issues, definitely you guys can join this crash course. It will definitely be to your benefit. We will definitely do our best to help your child to excel with this kind of rules and avoid these kind of common mistakes. All right. Now we have the two crash courses, the oral thematic set A crash course and the oral thematic set B crash course. Okay, I do want to highlight that they are very, very similar. The difference between the two of them is between the teams. Okay, we will be going through the different teams as you guys can see over here. You guys can see in the yellow one versus in the orange set. The teams are actually incredibly different. Okay, so you guys can take a look and see which team your child or you as a student might be struggling with even more, and we will you can sign up accordingly. Okay, for both of them, I will just go through them individually. Okay, they are both the same in terms of what we'll be going through, but the teams will be different. All right. For A, we'll master key oral exam themes. We'll dive deep into the more popular PSLE oral exam themes, and each day students will explore these themes and learn how to present and discuss them confidently. Okay, this is something that is super important because students should be able to identify certain themes and prepare accordingly. Okay, but this is super important when it comes to students who are not able to do so themselves, or parents who have certain issues with having their child and they would rather their child learn or be in safe hands where we as a tuition center we understand what these teams are. Our teachers have long history and experience with PSLE questions, so they do understand what these teams are. Okay, we will be able to help students do this trend analysis and help them to do the practice that they need so that they are well prepared for their exams. Okay, we want to help students not only understand these teams but also to learn how to discuss them confidently. Okay, again, confidence is the key. We really do want them to be confident. Effective oral answering techniques. We want to teach your child a proven method to structure their oral responses. This is super important. Structure, okay? At this point, you might ask, techniques. You guys have a lot of techniques. We do. We have a lot of techniques, but they are not just any old technique, okay? These techniques have been developed by us because we know what works best for our students. We have been established tuition center since 2012. We have a long history of students. We understand what students might need, and we are there to deliver. Okay, our techniques have helped a lot of students, and we would like them to help yours as well. All right. Definitely, oral exam strategy super important. We want to provide your child with strategies that help them to navigate the exam, manage their time effectively, and maximize their score with well-structured responses. Okay, these are things that we want to provide them with. Okay, we want them to be able to understand these strategies as well, and we'll definitely deliver it to them. Okay. 10 relevant reading articles. We want to help your child to stay current with trending and relevant topics in PSLE in order to help them to have more content to be able to know what to say. Okay, we can do so with over 10 relevant reading articles. We will help them and show them carefully selected reading articles for their reference. Okay, expand your vocab. We talk about this in every single one of our crash courses because of how important it is. Again, vocab can allow students to be more engaging. It allows them to sound more informative. Okay, it's not only in exam settings, but it can be in work settings as well. Vocab and topics specific content and wording can allow students to elevate what they're saying and their communication. Okay, we will add over 50 essential PSLE oral exam phrases to your child's vocab bank. So if your child is struggling to create that vocab bank and they need that extra assistance, this crash course might be for you. Okay, we want to empower them to articulate their thoughts more effectively, and we can do so via vocab. Okay, exclusive PSLE oral exam model responses. Okay, we want to give your child a clear idea of what high quality responses look like with specially designed model answers. Okay, this is something that is super important because some students might struggle with identifying the issues that they have, or the issue, or what the teachers actually want for them when they say show not tell or any other comment. Okay, the best way to do so is to annotate, to read intentionally model compositions and actually understand what is required of them. Okay, so this is definitely what we're going to provide for them. We're going to give them the resources. These are model responses that we have looked through, and they are specially designed model answers for these kind of students. Okay, so if this is something that you're struggling with, or you think your child needs help with this is the course for you. Okay, like I mentioned, we also have the oral set B course, which is slightly different. Okay, so for those who just joined, I'm Jia, welcome, and we're currently going through the oral crash courses that we have available this June holidays. Okay, so please let me know if you have any questions. You can also drop us a message through WhatsApp, and the team will do their best to assist you. All right. Before we go to the oral set B crash course, could we please play a June holiday promo video for everyone's reference?
Hi there, I'm teacher Mitsuko, and I'm here to take you on a little tour behind the scenes of our June holiday program here at Riders Park. Come, let's go and ask the experts to share why this program is a perfect fit for your child. Come on in. Let's start with our curriculum director. Hello, Agnes. Question: why should students join the June holiday program? We've carefully designed 7 exciting programs, each packed with engaging activities that make learning fun. For example, we're introducing a brand new stimulus analysis method and oral response structure to help students adjust to the new PSLE format. And for Primary 1 and 2 students, we've created an amazing oral lesson based on Who Stole the Dragon's Egg. My team and I have worked really hard to ensure that every student from Primary 1 to Primary 6 get the best English learning experience possible. Now let's head over to the operations team. Now question. Are you guys ready for registration and welcoming both children and parents?
We're all set from simple registrations to smooth lessons. We've got it all covered. Parents can relax knowing everything is taken care of, and the kids will have a super comfy and fun learning environment. We've even printed all the notes already. We are so excited to get started.
Now let's go and see how the teachers are preparing. Hi, Jar. Sorry, like to disturb you for a few seconds. We have a question for you. How prepared are you to teach the holiday programs and keep the students engaged?
Well, every lesson is carefully planned, so no time gets wasted. I've just finished prepping one of the lessons, making sure every minute counts. I want to make sure that every child is actively learning, getting new skills, and always improving themselves. It's going to be so much fun.
Well, sounds like it's all going to be a blast. So if you're looking for a way to make your child's June holidays awesome, come join us here at Riders at Work. We will help them learn, grow, prepare for examinations, and have fun all month long. So sign up now.
All right, I hope that gave you guys a better idea of what the June holiday program is going to be like. Ooh. All right. All right. Okay. Like I mentioned before, we also have the oral thematic set B, which is slightly different. Okay, let's take a look at it now. Okay, now the oral thematic set B crash course, students will have the chance to master key oral exam themes, dive deep into the more popular PSLE oral exam themes. Okay, so each day, students will explore these themes and learn how to present and discuss them confidently. Okay, this is something that we will definitely try to help students with. Identify these themes and help them to excel in them. Right? Effective oral answering techniques. We want to teach your child a proven method to structure their oral responses, ensuring clear, coherent, and well-organized answers. Okay, this is definitely something, like I mentioned, that we want to work on. because answering techniques is something that really can help students make their responses more impactful, more coherent, and overall more engaging. Okay, definitely put a bit of emphasis on that. Okay, so if your child is struggling with that, you guys can definitely consider. Okay, we also have oral exam strategies. We want to provide your child with strategies that will help them to navigate the exam, manage their time effectively, and maximize their score. Okay, now, when it comes to maximizing their score, there is a lot of different components that can really affect that. All right. Number one is time management. Okay. When it comes to time management, students who are not effectively using their time will tend to fall back, and that's understandable. Okay, students who also are not able to manage the time well might not be able to finish their paper during the exam. Okay, and that's something that we understand as well, and it's a valid issue. Okay, it's something that we want to work on with students as well. When it comes to maximizing their score, there is definitely the element of structure. Okay, structure can help students to make their writing more impactful, their communication more impactful and more engaging. Okay, so these are all things that we want to work with them on. All right, over 10 relevant reading articles. Okay, now we also want to help your child stay current with trending and relevant topics in the PSLE oral exam with our carefully selected reading articles. Okay, we will be giving them over 10 reading articles so that they are able to stay on top of what's going on, as well as gain some content in case any questions are asked. All right, we also want to help students to expand vocab. We will help them to add over 50 essential oral exam phrases to their vocab bank. So if your child is struggling with their vocab bank, creating a vocab bank, this is the one for you. Okay, we will be helping them to build that vocab bank so that they are able to really excel in whatever they're writing. Right. Finally, we have the exclusive PSLE oral exam model responses. We want to give your child a clear idea of what high quality oral responses look like with specially designed model answers. Okay, it's always great for them to have a better understanding, to have something to model against. Okay, so if they're not in full understanding of what's going on or what is required of them, this is one of the best ways because they are able to look at the paper and they're going to be able to go, oh, okay, so this is what's required of me. Okay, I see. They're able to annotate it and understand the structure and properly contextualize things that they have learned. Okay, now, before I share more about the classes for other levels, I do want to show everyone some parent-student testimonials and student results, okay? Let's take a few moments to look at it. I thought this live ends at 4.
Yes. Wrap it up.
Okay. Okay, now, like I mentioned before, there's really no better proof of effective teaching and education than student results, success stories, and testimonials. Okay, so you guys can take a look. We have Townham Primary School and with the Alexandra Primary School over here with these two. Okay, so you can see our students both did very well in these two full marks. We are super proud of them. Okay, yeah. It is definitely proof that our classes do have value and that our students are doing especially well after our classes. Okay, yeah, so we are currently going to be moving on to our next slide where we'll be going through the ebook for some of the ebooks that we have available. So if students, you need some extra resources, or parents, you would like to make that purchase for your child, some extra resources for them to work with, this is definitely for you. All right, yeah, we'll be moving on to the next slide. Thank you everyone for joining this one. Bye.